Long before the juicy red flesh of the watermelon became a summertime symbol across the globe, it had already been traveling through continents, shaping diets, traditions, and agriculture for thousands of years. The story of the watermelon begins in the arid deserts of northeastern Africa, where its earliest ancestor, a wild bitter melon, was first domesticated. Archaeological evidence suggests that watermelon cultivation can be traced as far back as 5,000 years to ancient Egypt. Seeds of watermelon were discovered in the tomb of Pharaoh Tutankhamun, pointing to its presence not just as a food source, but as something of cultural and perhaps even spiritual significance. In those early days, watermelons were not sweet. They were likely grown for their ability to retain water, making them extremely valuable in hot, dry climates. Over time, ancient Egyptians and other early farmers began to selectively breed these fruits, choosing melons that had a slightly sweeter taste, thinner rind, and more edible flesh. Through this process, watermelon evolved from a bitter desert fruit into something more palatable. The crop spread northward and eastward through the Mediterranean basin, likely brought along by traders and migrants. By 400 BCE, watermelon appeared in texts written in Sanskrit in India, indicating its journey into South Asia. Ancient Indian writings describe the fruit as kalinda,
Out.
and it was often cultivated alongside other melons in early agricultural societies. The Greeks and Romans also adopted watermelon into their cuisines. Greek medical writers like Hippocrates and Dioscorides even mentioned watermelon for its healing properties, mainly its ability to cool the body and hydrate during fevers. Roman farmers and gardeners developed cultivation techniques that included watering and grafting, improving the fruit's size and sweetness. As the Roman Empire expanded, the watermelon spread with it into Western Europe. However, it wasn't until centuries later, during the Islamic Golden Age, that watermelon cultivation and breeding truly flourished. During this era, Muslim botanists and agriculturists across North Africa, the Middle East, and Moorish Spain documented dozens of varieties of watermelons, preserving texts that outlined the best ways to grow them and methods for irrigation. These manuscripts show that by the 10th century, watermelon had become an integral part of diets from Persia to Andalusia. Islamic scholars referred to it as batik and praised its cooling effects in the hot climates of their lands. The Moors helped introduce watermelon to the Iberian Peninsula, from where it gradually moved northward through Europe. Watermelon's transcontinental journey eventually led it into China, where it found fertile ground both literally and metaphorically. Chinese agricultural texts from the 10th century CE describe watermelon as a valuable crop. The Chinese people, already skilled in horticulture, bred the fruit into rounder and juicier forms, and it soon became a favorite refreshment during hot summer days. By the 14th century, watermelon was firmly established in China, and today, China is the largest producer of watermelons in the world, with the fruit deeply embedded in both its agricultural output and cultural celebrations. Watermelon's voyage across oceans came with European explorers and colonizers during the Age of Discovery. Spanish and Portuguese colonists brought watermelon to the New World, introducing it to the Americas in the early 1500s. Native peoples quickly adopted the fruit, cultivating it across the present-day southeastern United States and beyond. African slaves, forcibly brought to the Americas, also played a key role in spreading and cultivating watermelon, especially in the southern U.S., where it became a staple crop. By the 17th century, watermelon was growing in warm climates across the Americas. Colonists in British North America were growing watermelon in gardens by the mid-1600s. Thomas Jefferson recorded growing watermelons at Monticello in the 1780s, and the fruit's popularity continued to rise. Over the centuries, as farming techniques improved and transportation networks expanded, watermelons became more widely available and affordable. With the invention of refrigerated rail cars in the 19th century, watermelon became a common treat in cities, no longer confined to rural farms or warm weather zones. In modern times, watermelon breeding became more advanced with the development of seedless varieties in the mid-20th century. These seedless versions, developed through hybridization, offered convenience to consumers and boosted watermelon's popularity even further. Today, the fruit comes in multiple shapes, sizes, colors, and patterns ranging from traditional striped green to solid yellow varieties. From round to oblong shapes, and from red flesh to golden, or even white. Throughout its long and storied history, watermelon has come to symbolize much more than refreshment. It represents resilience, the ingenuity of farmers across millennia, and the interconnectedness of global cultures. In American culture, it became an iconic part of summer barbecues, picnics, and holidays like the 4th of July. In Japan, square watermelons are cultivated as novelty gifts. In Africa, it remains both a dietary staple and a crop tied to cultural heritage. Across the globe, festivals are held in honor of this fruit, including watermelon eating contests, seed spitting competitions, and culinary celebrations where it's featured in everything from salads to juices to desserts. The story of the watermelon is still being written. As climate change poses new challenges to agriculture, scientists are now looking back at the hardy, wild ancestors of watermelon in Africa. To reintroduce drought resistance genes into modern varieties, this full-circle moment underscores how the deep roots of this fruit, stretching across time and continents, continue to influence the present and shape the future. From the tombs of pharaohs to modern supermarkets, the watermelon's journey is one of evolution, adaptation, and enduring appeal, a true testament to the bond between humans and the natural world.